Hello, and you're very welcome to the Manchester United Agenda, where we will be giving you an update on the appointment of Ralph Rangnick. Hello everyone, and you're very welcome to the Manchester United Agenda. I'm joined here today with OMONDI. Very welcome to the show, OMONDI.
Thank you.
We got some very exciting news. We finally have official confirmation that Ralph Rangnick has signed his contract with Manchester United. It is an initial 6-month deal until the end of May, with a further 2 years at the club, where it's been described as consultancy. Rangnick 863 said in a statement, "I am excited to be joining Manchester United and focused on making them a successful club again." And he wants to bring us a successful season, which is absolutely fantastic. He said that the squad is full of talent and has a great balance of youth and experience. And his efforts for the next 6 months will be on helping these players fulfill their potential, both individually and most importantly as a team. So we'll be looking for that team cohesion that we've been so missing for the last number of months, following his influence at the club, hopefully. John Murtagh said, "Ralph is one of the most respected coaches and innovators in European football, and he was the #1 candidate for the interim manager role." So he was top of the pecking order. Everyone at the club is looking forward to working with him during the season ahead and for the further 2 years in his advisory role. The language here in this article obviously is very much about not, I suppose, upsetting the backwater for anybody that might be occupying a position that he's in. But of course, that's our own speculation. Rangnick is seen as the godfather of modern coaching in Germany. Obviously, his influences being Thomas Tuchel and Klopp and Nagelsmann. The club wishes to place on its record its thanks to Lokomotiv Moscow for their cooperation in the process of bringing Ralph to Manchester United. And then it goes on then to talk about what he's achieved today, etc., etc. But on Monday, are you happy today with this appointment?
Of course, I'm delighted. I'm delighted. You know what is? It finally has come through. Obviously, we speculated about it, but to have the initial announcement today, as we kind of expected, I'm just over the moon about it. It's going to change everything, and I think over the last week, it's been such an eventful last 7-8 days. You know, with the sacking, with the 2 performances that we put on as well. I think we've seen a change in the players, but based on the performances, and have to give all credit to Michael Carrick for covering that week. You know, and dealing with everything brilliantly, as far as I'm concerned. You know, so he gets a lot of credit from me and all the Man United agenda. I'm sure all the guys at the Man United agenda as well. But overall, I'm really delighted. I'm sure all the fans are delighted. That's been announced, and I really like the statement that you read out as well. It's very positive. It's very bullet pointed. The issues and what he intends to deliver about team cohesion, about the quality that we have. You know, it's real good wording. I don't know who writes his scripts, but I want a piece of that as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. I suppose if you said after Ollie was dismissed after the Watford game that Michael Carrick would pretty much secure knockout Champions League football for us and take a point away from Stamford Bridge, we probably would have chewed off anybody's arm to take that deal.
Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, we've got to be fair. With Ollie at the wheel, those 2 games didn't look promising, to be honest. But we've got the players. It just shows how important management is, and motivation, and keeping on your toes at all times. And I think the players went out there, followed instruction, and done the right job. And we got 2 really, really positive results. And Ralph will be. It's like Ralph was there already. I reckon the players knew about this. if he's saying that he was our #1 target, the players must have been on board and done their research like we all did and realised we better step up. We better do them drills. Look like we're working out here, you know, because their futures are in trouble at the moment. If you don't step up, I don't think he's going to be afraid to drop anybody, you know. And I can't wait. What it is, I don't know about you, Rebel, but I can't wait to see. I know we won't be able to see it, but I want to see the training drills. I want to see the reaction. I want to see. I just being loving football. I want to see what he does on the training ground to sort of change this midway through the season. How he's going to approach it. There's so many question marks. I'm sure we've got lots to talk about.
Absolutely, absolutely. I suppose for me, the organisation is what I'm really looking forward to, and the players are going to end up working their behinds off in order to get up to that level of fitness. And I suppose just kind of to go back to the article for a moment in The Athletic, they have a subtitle, "What Will Rangnick Bring to Manchester United?" Primarily a defined playing style. Rangnick has long been recognised as one of the first people behind the now commonplace organised collective pressing that most modern sides use. And obviously it's something that we will now be coming to the doorstep of maybe a couple of years later, but we're getting there. Yeah. He developed the style after a friendly against Dynamo Kiev back in 1984 is when this pressing style was developed by Rangnick, who were managed by a tactical visionary, Vasily Lobanovsky. And I'm probably butchered that pronunciation, but what we're looking at here is the guy that started what we're seeing from your Liverpools and your Chelseas and all the great pressing sides that are around the world. This guy was the innovator. And like it goes on to talk about how Tuchel, Ralph, Haston Huchel, Julian Nagelsmann, all of them look up to this guy. We saw the reaction from Jurgen Klopp in his press conference before the Premier League this weekend. He said, unfortunately for us, there's a very good manager coming to Manchester United. Like, I suppose they are not blind to the fact that United are finally getting their house in order. And I suppose there was another report circulating. I will just hit the headline. That there may or may not be any substance behind it, but the new head honcho that's taken over from Woodward is believed to have said, I don't know anything about football and didn't want anything to do with the football side. And this inspired them to go down the route of a Ralph and actually bring in what is clearly going to be the key man in making those football decisions. Because in the tweet this morning from Fabrizio, I'm just going to bring that up and bring it to you. He's going to be heavily involved in the successor and the appointment of the full-time manager, as well as player transfers, etc., as part of his consultancy role. So this is all very, very positive stuff. And I suppose coming up, we will have the Arsenal preview later on in the week, and Maisie will have her player ratings this evening. And just a quick shout out to anybody that is joining us for the first time. Make sure you are hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell. And the channel is giving away a signed Bruno Fernandes shirt once we hit 1,000 subscribers. So make sure you stay with us for all things Manchester United and to be in with your chance to secure that jersey.
You know what? What you just told me about the Dynamo Kiev and that being the change for him to go to that sort of system, it's interesting that because I remember with the great Liverpool side with Shankly, they played a Red Star Belgrade in maybe 72, 73 in the Champions League or European Cup or one of these European competitions, and they got completely outplayed. And it's from then Shankly decided to tweak things and change things into the Liverpool system, the pass and move system that they adopted a long time later, you know, and that brought them success in the late 70s, early 80s, you know. So it's good when sometimes you have to get a spanking or get overwhelmed by a different style of football to sort of adapt and change. I think Fergie done the same thing. We lost to 4-0 to Barcelona, going back into the Champions League in the early 90s. Romario, Stoichkov, we were completely overrun when we were dominating English football in the early 90s. So that must have been a catalyst of change for him as well. So it's really interesting that. But the more we research this guy, it's all good. It's all good. I just can't stop learning about this style. And I think We have Connor as well from the channel. He's been doing a lot of research as well. He's going to produce something for the boys at the Man United agenda, so we can all have a deep, intense look into what he offers. You know.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just briefly before I bring up the final topic, I'm just going to throw this question to you on Monday. It's from Okenuli. He's one of our regulars here at the Manchester United agenda.
Hi, Kunle.
Do you think CR7 will start half of your remaining league games this season?
Look, we can only be speculating. Let's see how if CR7 can adapt to what our new manager's offering, what he wants from players, then yes, I imagine yes. I think he's going to just merit players on what they produce in training and whether they can pick it up early. You know, I think it's all about intelligence, picking up, and I think Ronaldo is intelligent. He is probably fit enough to adapt, and we got a big squad as well, so we can change and rotate. So it doesn't have to be like, oh, Ronaldo's not starting, major issue. It's about the team, as he said in his statement. So let's not start focus on players, and because players have to get on board with the system, and some might take longer than others. But I personally think Ronaldo is one of the most experienced players in world football, and I think he will be able to understand and adapt to it. It's just whether maybe Ralph, who's the main man now, whether he feels he could do it for 60 minutes, take him off, or bring him on later. That's up to Ralph. But we have to have faith in Ralph, just as Fergie said when he said put faith in Moyes. We now have to have faith with Ralph, and whatever he decides to do, just go along with it. Like yesterday, for example, Ronaldo was on the bench and people asking questions, but it turned out to be the right decision in the end, you know?
Very good, very good. Thank you for the question, Okanoli. As you mentioned, Connor and his document, I do actually have it here in front of me, so I'm just going to give you some of the highlights from it. He was born in Backyang, Germany, 63 years old. He played actually as a defensive
63.
63.
Yeah. 63.
He played as a defensive midfielder for 6 clubs from 76 to 83, finishing with 6 goals in 98 registered appearances. Started managing at the age of 25, won an under-19 Bundesliga in 91 with VfB Stuttgart, won the 4th Division League title with former club ULM 1846 in his debut season as their manager, moved to VfB Stuttgart and won the Intertoto Cup in 2000. He was actually fired from Stuttgart in 01 when Stuttgart were in the relegation zone, but he moved to 2nd Division Hanover 96, first full season with them. They crushed competition to join the 1st Division for the first time in 14 years. When he left Hanover 96 in 2004, he lost the assistant coach position for German national team to Joachim Low. Ralph was hired by Schalke, and then he took them to a cup win with the DFB Pokal. And his list of achievements go on and on and on here, but this is the interesting one for me. Players that were brought in or developed by Rangnick: Werner, Forsberg, Hanselberg, Sabitzer, Umbocano, Poulsen, Kimmich, Keita, Conte, Haaland, Mane, Firmino, Alba, Neuer, Rafinha, Fuchs. The list here is absolutely phenomenal in terms of who he's actually seen come through his books as his time as a manager and as a coach.
Yeah, you know what? Ignorant fans out there would say, ask the question, "Oh, what has he won? What has he won?" There you go. That's his credentials. It's not about what you win. It's about what you develop. He's a coach, and you just stated there names of players that are well known now who have been developed by our new manager. So that to me is the trophy cabinet for a manager. You know, it's not just about winning trophies as a team. Big teams win trophies. Only 3 or 4 trophies to win every season. It's about the achievement and developing players, and that's exactly what he does.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I suppose finally the formations that he likes to deploy, he either had 4-4-2, 4-4-4, 4-4-2 diamond, 4-2-2-2, or the occasional 4-3-3 or 3-5-2. Looking at the speculation in terms of our squad makeup, it's believed that the favoured one would be the 4-2-2-2 system. And there is speculation that we saw a bit of that yesterday against Chelsea, in that we saw Fred in a more advanced role in the middle two next to Bruno. And I don't know about you, Monday, but for me, he looked a lot more comfortable. He looked like the player that was actually justified his price tag. Now, whether we see that on a consistent basis, that would be another story entirely. But the Fred that we see next to McTominay in the pivot and the Fred that we saw yesterday with a bit more license up top, you wouldn't think they were the same player.
Yeah, I totally agree. And this is what I'm saying. Ralph has already had his influence, as you see by the setup yesterday. That's great observation, what you just said about how we played yesterday and how the shape was. That's how it seemed to me as well. I thought Bruno initially was playing up front, but when later, as you observed the game, you could see that he was playing in a sort of 4-2-2-2 in that kind of system, and two pacey guys up front. That goal just demonstrates and evidence for that as well, with the break that when two guys were breaking and he could have passed it, could have squared it, and he scored it himself. It's really, really good stuff to see, and that's a big talking point that Carrick's actually implementing that style on the team already, so we're already getting used to it.
Absolutely. No news as of yet as to what changes will happen in terms of the backroom team, but I suppose all I can say is stay with us here in the Manchester United agenda, and as we have news, we will try to bring it to you as hot as it comes off the presses. But for now, I've been Rebel, he's been OMONDI, and we'd like to thank you very much for joining us today, but good evening.